jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Once again, you tuned in to World Combat Sports. Salute to everyone that's in the building. You know what I'm saying? Especially those who rock with WCS Media. Tune in and open their ears and support the channel. You always appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? One thing for sure, two things for certain. It's Saturday. And we all know what happens on Saturday. It's after Friday. Most of the time, you know, the fighters weigh in on Friday, and it's time to get down. And it's fight night. We have one of the biggest fights that's going down. That's a legacy defining fight, man. We're talking about 154 pounds undisputed. I mean, what more can you say about this fight? It is big, regardless of who's stepping in the ring, regardless if they're a ticket seller or not. This is legacy defining 154-pound undisputed contest. This is a big deal. Really big deal. We've been able to watch as, you know, other divisions unify. And, you know, we say to ourselves, like the ones who watch boxing on the whole, we say to ourselves like, okay, 140 was able to unify. Okay, Jose Ramirez, Josh Taylor. Okay, right. Okay. All right, 60, no. You know, 68, yeah, you know, they turn around, unify the division, you know, undisputed. We thought we was going to get it with heavyweight, but no, wasn't able to get with heavyweight. So what I'm getting at is this is not something that happens all the time when it comes to undisputed. It just don't happen like that. You know, we was able to see lightweight division unify. You know what I'm saying? Vasil Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez, they was able to unify for undisputed. So we was able to see all this happen. But finally, we start closing the gap in these middle divisions, which are simply the more powerful divisions where people pay attention to. 147-pound and 154-pound division. And we've seen over time that Jamel Charlo was able to unify the 154-pound division. And we was just waiting for the smoke to clear at the WBO, you know, championship when Brian Castano stepped in there with Patrick Teixeira. So he was able to defeat Patrick Teixeira, and Charlo Castano met up, gave us a hell of a fight. It was a war in there, and both fighters came out equal on the judges' scorecard. And Castano said during the press conference that he felt like Charlo received some home cooking. So in this case right here, you know, they're fighting in Carson, California, in the presence of, on the West Coast, what would be considered like more lean on the side of Castano with Latino fan base over there. But we can't cry. There's no way you can sit up here and whine, bitch, and complain about this fight being on the West Coast in California, because Charlo was able to have it where he had it the first time. It don't get any more at home than that, because as we know, as boxing listeners, as we low from the audience listening in, these fighters this day and time, outside of the name Deontay Wilder, they ain't trying to get rematches like that. I'm talking about to the top name, to the top name. They're not looking to give trilogies like that. So if Castano would have lost flat out, I don't think he would have received another shot like a Tyson Fury, when they had a draw. I don't think they would have did it. I'm just being honest. A Canelo Alvarez when they had a draw. I just don't think the Charlos would have gave him a rematch, but they both came to a draw, and they're stepping back in the ring tonight. We seen the presser, and like I said before, I did an extensive live on what I felt that was fluff. You know what I'm saying? Promo fluff, where you try to ring in the temporaries at the last minute. The temporaries are just the individuals that's sitting out there pacing back and forth and walking around. They're kind of confused, what they should do in this fight, who they should support and stuff like that. So, Charlo started talking about the Africans and stuff like that. So it might have been some temporaries out there that was black. And so, what? Yeah, I've been waiting here. I've been waiting. Yeah. He's summoning us. There it is. They was waiting for any type of sign for Charlo to, rally the troops. And that's what we get. I just look at as a black man in my lifetime, if it's been some questionable areas in my life where, I'm sitting up here treating my people as subordinates, as if they're labor workers, as if they'll never be on my level due to my financial gain, my monetary wealth. I don't think my people will really support me like that. You know what I'm saying? We have a thing in boxing where you have a lot of black fighters that supporting the Latino culture, even in ring attire. It happens all the time. This is no different. But now, all the support of Latino boxing fans, which is nothing wrong with that. But you have to have your own identity. Your identity is your people. You know what I'm saying? That's your people. If it wasn't your identity, you wouldn't made it against U.S. versus Argentina. So for Charlo, he did the right thing at the last minute. But you can't play your people, your black people like that when it comes down to fights like this. We've been here, done that. We know the ones that's rocking out with us during the fight. We know the ones that speak out. We know who the activists are. We've seen and heard it, and we've been through this before. That's why a lot of people despise Deontay Wilder, because he used to speak out. He used to hold true to his people, which we don't need permission to do that. It's just the fact that when it comes up, people always want to, some people want to act like, oh, he bringing black race into it. He's doing this. No, it's something we should be able to do because that's a skin color we wake up to. That's a skin color we was born with. You know what I'm saying? But my only depreciation is that Jermell Charlo attempted to rally the black Africans all of a sudden after he's been on record as chastising, denigrating his people in public. You know what I'm saying? He's been on record as doing that. And also, people was, just tripping about me mentioning his jaw. All right? They was tripping. They were saying I was creating narratives. Look, if I'm creating narratives, that's a first. Because I know a lot of people on here that create narratives. And I don't see none of you in their chat. But instead, y'all over there dumping money and everything else. But nobody can verify some of those topics that's going on. So y'all need to, redirect your focus over there to them. when you're talking about creative narratives, especially when they are absolutely false. But let's keep it moving. Look at it this way when it comes to Charlo and Castano. I believe this fight, there will be one winner. There will be one winner. But also I have to factor in what I looked at, what I seen in the weigh-ins, and I circle it. It seems like as you're looking at it, his left jaw, as you're looking at the thumbnail, his left jaw. All right. It seemed to be a bit different to me. It didn't seem to be normal from what we used to seeing with Charlo, but I may be absolutely off the mark with this. But if indeed, um, you know, his jaw is messed up, we will see something very strange happen in the fight. And this is what I mean by very strange. If Charlo jaw is fucked up, we already know how the first fight went. When we talking about we had a clash of energy, like, man, we had the build up, you know what I'm saying? We had the amplification, we had all that energy starts the vortex, and it's gonna come to the middle and meet and become a combined median. That combined median between these two was freaking violence. You know what I'm saying? Assault. Both of them was going to bring their energy of violence, and they was going to meet in the middle, which they did. It turned into a hell of a firefight. And we already know that Charlo couldn't knock out Castano, and Castano shouldn't knock out couldn't knock out Charlo. It was quite different than the Tony Harrison fight, though. Two different individuals. Castano and Tony Harrison. Castano is not him. Two different boxers, two different mindsets, two different ethnicities. Feel me? So when it comes down to them stepping in the ring tonight, and what I told you about that jaw, if we come full circle and see something different take place, Castano is not giving us that energy, or some crazy freaking knockout happened in the second, third round, knowing that Castano took Charlo's power pretty decent. He was hurt. Both fighters was hurt in that fight, but not to the point where we had stupid knockout power. We had one of them just rise to the occasion and get that knockout. So we can't be on record as saying any one of these guys touched the canvas. It never happened. So if something comes up that you find eccentric, and you just can't put your thought, you can't touch it with your thought process. You saying something ain't just right. Why Castano ain't, giving us that energy he had in the first one. It looks good at weigh-in. He weighed more than Charlo did. Castano weighed 153. Charlo weighed 152. I don't know why these guys, are fighting like this tonight. I don't know this. You will know. All right. Let me there's something let me go back right quick. Y'all hold on. I got to get this thumbnail. I want y'all to see something. Shout out to everyone that's in the live chat, man. Alexander, what's good? First one on deck with it. Salute to you, my brother. Y'all hold on one second. Okay, I'm back. Let me show you something right quick. I know when it comes to WCS, man, people always want to come up and be like, man, man, why you just can't let the brothers fight? I am letting them fight. I don't have nothing to do with them stepping into the ring. Shit, but I create content like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you what's out here for my accessibility. If you don't want me to access the shit, tell the people to just do away with social media, do away with the algorithms and the IP address, the internet protocols. You know, all the shit that I did for years dealing with that data shit. Peep this out. I'm about to load up two other thumbnails right quick. You tell me. You tell me what you think, cause they don't want to believe what they are seeing. Tell me what you think. They refuse to believe what we are seeing. Okay, so this is my thumbnail the other day, and I circled the part of his jaw that looked a little swollen to me. You know what I'm saying? It looked a little funny. So then I'm paying attention to the presser. I'm looking at this right here. All right. Now, when I was in school, right, I'm not gonna lie to you. Back then, we didn't have social media, so at certain times, I was probably writing notes to another girl or talking, winking, having a conversation about something. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what class it is, especially Spanish. You know what I'm saying? Espanol. Um, but math was okay. Um, like I said before, I'm not the math wizard. With when you need to do problem solving and all that. But look at this. You have four individuals, right? What doesn't look like the other? Somebody tell me. What doesn't look like the other? Somebody please drop it in the chat, please. Just do me that favor. Okay, I'm gonna give you a hint because I just say what doesn't look like the other. When you look at those four individuals on the panel and their headset, what in their headsets does not look the same? Four individuals. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Y entiendes, amigo? Cuatro. What doesn't look the same? Okay. You can't figure it out? You have three individuals, three males, three black males on the panel. That's not my question. What looks different about the headsets? Okay, I'm going to explain it to you. Shout out to Meta World Peace. His headset, as we're looking at it, his microphone is on the right side. Steven Jackson, his headpiece, his microphone is on the right side as you're looking at this thumbnail. Brian Custer, his headphone is on the right side as you're looking at it. That's 3/4. That's 3/4 of the graph. If you want to do pies, if you want to do lines, it doesn't matter. There's 3/4 of individuals on this panel with their headpiece, their microphone on the right side as you're looking at it. If they're sitting down, it's on the left side. Artest, Jackson, and Custard. Why is Jamel's mic on the right side as she's sitting? Us on the left side. Why is his microphone the only one on the left side? Did he listen? Did he hear my video? Because nobody else was talking about it except my constituent who brought it to my attention. But as far as doing a live and circle, I put it out there. Why is Jamel's microphone on the right side as he's wearing it? Now, a lot of people may not think of it. Once again, they think numbers has a lot to do with anything. But I mean, I grew up in an era where physical contact and on-site interaction meant everything. You can pretty much call it for what it is. You know what you've seen. But in this day, we have sea blinds. We have sea blind individuals who look at things and they say they won't even give it no credit for being different. They won't even give you no credit for really trying to itemize something unless they did it first. I get it. I get it because we're all sinners and you have some judgmental people existing on this earth. But Jamel's Charlo Mike, as I'm looking at, is on the left side. Everybody else is on the right. His is on the left. Jamal Charlo is on the right. I just thought I'd bring that up to you once again. Everybody on the panel, their headphones is on the right side as we're looking at it. Their microphone. All right. Jamel Charlo, his is on the left as we're looking at it. I'm off that. You get the point. I'm off that. Back to the Game of Thrones. The Game of Thrones tonight is the winner takes all the crowns. That's the Game of Thrones. There can be one foreseeable winner in this rematch. How's it going to play out? I don't know, because boxing is a type of magical type of sport due to the manipulation of the person who's performing the trick. That's what boxing is sometimes, especially when money's involved, especially when not just money for this fight, but future endeavors that include money, especially when it comes to a promotion, especially when it comes to the bigger name. It really plays a role. I always say that, certain fighters receive the orders and then you go in there and see them perform much differently than they did the first time around. Sometimes it's difficult to pick it out unless you see a fighter acting or feeling different. You hear fighters all the time saying on fight day they was feeling funny, they wasn't feeling right. We've seen this shit play out in the ring. Wilder made of it. We've seen the shit go down with Alexander Povetkin. It's been plenty of time with fighters saying, you know what? I didn't feel the same. I can't prove, but I just didn't feel the same when I came out there. Something wasn't right. I don't know what it is. Can't put my finger on it, but something wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? And, people was even nitpicking the fact of, when it comes to drug testing, not just being a topic of a conversation. That is you're being conditioned not to even place attention on drug testing anymore, because they're finding out that once you put the drug testing out there, people become intrigued with knowing what the samples came in. What the A sample come back? Did it come back clean? People come conditioned to tune in and say, okay, what happened with the drug sample? What is it? Did it come back clean? Lately, we haven't been getting that information like we should. Like, I don't know if something changed, like Jarrell Miller, how it pretty much took millions from his career. He lost millions and it was all his own doing. But I don't know, sometimes, as of recent, we haven't really heard the usual as far as fighters being extensively drug tested. But in this fight, 154 pounds, man, it's going down. It is what it is. I think it's going to be a hell of a fight. In the co-main event, let me back up. I hope Jamel Charlo's jaw is okay, because like I told you before, something seems a bit unlined, when it comes to the anomalies of his jaw structure and how we look at people. We don't need to be doctors. We don't need to be doctors to sit up here and make a prognosis of someone that's looking funny. You know what I'm saying? Someone who's looking other than what we used to seeing him. They might have some damage or swelling or whatever the case. We don't need to be qualified medical physicians or certified medical doctors to determine that. It just looks funny to me. So we'll see. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? We will see what it is, man. We will see if the high guard is rampant in the first half of the fight. We'll see even if Castano has the same approach. Because these two right here, they should come out the same way that Canelo and Bivol came out. It was on and popping from the opening bell. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be no filling out process. It shouldn't be no filling out process. These fighters should come out here with the burner already hot and trying to damn torch one another. That's what should happen. They should come out there and get this on and popping real quick and try to burn the other fighter down all the way down. Cook them. Get them up out of there. If it goes to the scorecards, make it clear and concise that this fighter is the one who won. You know what I'm saying? In the co-main event, we had Jaron Ennis, man, Custio Clayton. You know, Clayton is in a big fight. Many people looking at this like Ennis is the overseer when it comes to determining like this this phonetic A side, B side type shit. This rudimentary pick a side type deal of popularity. That's what we give with Boots Ennis and Custio Clayton. Clayton may have as many fights as Ennis, but we're hoping that the fight is competitive. Ennis has 28 victories, and of course, he's the higher ranked, and people are going to continue to look at him because once again, they're desperate for one fight. They want to make sure Jaron Ennis somehow, some way gets past this fight, and by God's good graces, he's able to fight one of the top names in Errol Spence Jr. or Terrence Crawford. That's what they're hoping. I know this is the IBF eliminator, people, before people start jumping, clicking their heels into my Toto. Come here, Toto. Let's go to the Wizard of Oz and see who's gonna win this fight, Toto. I know y'all up there goddamn running down the yellow brick road. We have to get past this fight first. Also, we have to see what Jaron Ennis looks like in this fight. What does he look like? And the reason why I say what does Jaron Ennis look like, because he's favored to win. There's a lot of energy hiding behind this brother. I like it. It's good, positive energy. Just a lot of energy hiding behind, this riding behind Boots Ennis. So when it boils down to it, man, hey, Boots win this fight right now. It injects a resurgency in here in YouTube for them now to start, pulling up and siphon gas out the gas stations and running away. You know what I'm saying? Just so they can fuel up Boots Ennis' damn character now as the next best, 147 pounder. They need to go over there and get that diesel. It's a little bit expensive for some of y'all, but they still gonna try to go over there and goddamn, steal some diesel and bring it to YouTube and say, this is why he beats everybody. This is why. They'll say the shit 5 times. This is why. Boots Ennis gets it. This is why. Boots Ennis gets it. This is why. Listen. This is why. Boots over everybody. Boots over everybody. This is what. That's what's going to be the narrative. Just off Custio Clayton. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't work like that. You have 2 grandiers, at the top. You know what I'm saying? You have 2 champions. One unified, one isn't. Both of these individuals, we don't know when their next fight. All it is behind the scenes, rumor mills, scuttlebutt, and just ramblings, sidebar conversations that we may get Crawford Spence. But in time, Jaron Ennis is on deck. Boots on deck. I'm going to tell you, if he's victorious, Now the narrative is going to be churning and pushing from behind. Motherfuckers going to be dumping coal on their back, running to the train station. Put the coal in there. Fuel it. Let's take off. We need to go. We need to go. We're next for Errol Spence Jr. He has no fight. I want to hear that narrative. I want to hear y'all keep that shit clean. Real talk. I want to hear y'all keep that shit right online. Dump all the coal at the thing, in that furnace for the train. Y'all hop on the back and y'all take that shit to Texas. Let's see if this fight can happen before Crawford. Because that's what they're gonna sue. Because you can't put them off on Crawford. This is an IBF eliminator. Now you know how I like itemizing shit, right? Scrutinizing, magnifying it. So y'all talking about this is an IBF eliminator. What pisses y'all off is that it's not a WBO eliminator. So now some of Errol Spence fans that's on YouTube, they're jumping off the back of the train because the new school is finally certified to be in a position to face Errol Spence Jr. They understand totally that Errol Spence is on his way out the door. So being that we have this stigma on YouTube on how people just can't pick one fighter, now we have two black fighters who are somewhat in the category of popularity, and Jerron Ennis and Errol Spence Jr. You're gonna have the energy and the blades start to come out and cut down the middle on who they want to support. It's not even going to be close. They're not going to be supporting them equally. You're going to have people, becoming turncoats. They say, "Hey, I'm strictly for Boots because he's the new wave. Out with the old, in with the new." That's the way this YouTube shit worked for them guys. Out with the old, in with the new. You're going to hear individuals, easily try to smooth their way and slide out of the full support that they was giving Errol Spence, and then they're gonna start pushing Jerron Ennis. They're gonna start giving you the infamous fight predictions. They're gonna start giving you fight breakdowns. They're gonna start telling you this is the pluses and minuses of Errol Spence Jr. and Jerron Ennis. They're gonna go through all these factors, man. They're gonna give you everything possible. Imagine in the grocery bag. They're gonna buy this shit in bulk. And they're gonna try their best to start phasing out Errol Spence. What I was talking about, what my criticism was when I saw the dang Yordenis Ugas fight. They're gonna start talking about what they saw in the Yordenis Ugas fight and then what they saw in the Custodial Clay fight with Jerron Ennis. This is how the trend works. This is the itis that exist on YouTube. This is the dilapidated syndrome that happened with some of these dudes. We work off of calendar days. There's numbers in between that create these calendar days. And as days tick by and fights come on, we get to assess, observe, and then react. The reaction is what gets, because people nitpick every little small thing. If Jerron Ennis, look, check this out. Custodial Clayton is nowhere close to freaking Errol Spence. All right. Jerron Ennis, in my opinion, his resume says he's not nowhere close to Errol Spence. But when they start giving these fighter breakdowns, they're going to compare Errol Spence fight with Yordenis Ugas to Jerron Ennis fight with Custodial Clayton. They're going to start doing juxtaposed comparisons. And neither of these fighters are a Yordenis Ugas or Errol Spence Jr. But they're going to try to come up with talking points just to pull in the attention of the listeners to see why Errol Spence may be in trouble. Errol Spence on borrowed time. The hunter becomes the hunted. They're gonna say that about Spence. He was hunting, he was doing all the heavy lifting, but now he's the hunted. That's what happened when you was at the top. Jerron Ennis is finally here, y'all. Finally here. And they're gonna try to smooth it over. They're gonna try to talk a little bit about Errol Spence, and then they're gonna boost up Jerron Ennis, based off his custody. This is assuming he win, right? Off his Clayton win. They're going to continue. They're going to give a smaller percentage to Errol Spence in their good graces. And then they're going to inject all, that new profound energy into Jerron Boots Ennis. And they can continue to lace him up and lace him up and lace him up to the point where their thumbnails is going to be strictly in favor of Jerron Ennis. I'm just being honest. That's the way the seasons are over in YouTube. Fair weather seasons. One week they with one fighter, next week they with another fighter. They're about to start turning their back on Errol Spence. I'm telling you, watch what I tell you. Just look at it. It is not within their behavior and their conduct to sit up here and treat black fighters the same equally. Even though Errol Spence, in their eyes, did all the heavy lifting. Oh, yes, he did. He did all the heavy lifting, y'all. Let's say heavy, 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 heavy lifting. I tell you, he did all the heavy lifting. Oh, yes, he did. That's all you was hearing. Heavy lifting, y'all. Heavy, heavy lifting. Jerron Ennis haven't did that heavy lifting yet, so they can't put that title on him. But Errol Spence Jr., WBC, WBA, IBF title. Yeah, you can pretty much see he has those straps, and he has not just one, not just two, but three. So wearing three titles on you, you kind of feel the weight balance, don't you? But Jerron Ennis haven't did that yet. But it's one title that's a part of that weight balance that Jerron Ennis is in line to compete as that guy next up. And that's the IBF. That's the IBF, people. I'm telling you, that's the IBF. Hear me out, man. You know what it is. Sir Ken on deck with it. World Combat Sports salute. Salute to the wrenches and salute to the chats. Smash the like button. Much appreciated that Sir Ken in the building. Andrew Charles, what's good with it? WCS salute. Salute to y'all. Salute to you. Shelton Moore on deck with it. What's good, Shelton? WCS salute. What does heavy lifting mean? I don't know. When I looked it up in dictionaries, even dictionary.com, Merriam, thesauruses, all it is a certain amount of weight. You know what I'm saying? And being that every human being has a different type of strength, heavy lifting can mean a different type of definition to individuals. But on YouTube, they live off narratives. They live off keywords. And once a keyword start to trend, especially from groups who support the same fighter, one of those words was heavy lifting. They made it such to the point where you can consider heavy lifting to somebody trying to go out there and lift up a car on their own. That's what it feel like. That's what it felt like to me, listening to them talk about Errol Spence. He's doing all the heavy lifting. This isn't fair. You know what I'm saying? You heard all that shit. So now that Jerron Ennis is up for the IBF, what is the narrative going to be? Are y'all still going to credit this man for all the heavy lifting? Or y'all just going to say, you know what? We're not going to totally kick that old one, that old horse out the pasture just yet. We got to find a way to sneak in and grab those titles without him knowing it. You know what I'm saying? We need to come up and derive a plan to get those titles. But first, we're going to work on his popularity. That's when they're going to start. I want to see the thumbnails after this fight. I think ahead like that. I want to see the thumbnails after this fight. Now that he win the IBF Eliminator, he's attached to one person. It ain't fucking Crawford. It's Errol Spence Jr. So I just want to see what the mentality is like. I already done seen some of y'all who was really rocking heavy with Spence. I seen y'all start to switch over. You dirty dog. You dirty dog. Y'all starting to switch up on the brother. Y'all act like it is absolutely against any type of YouTube law for a person to be sane to support two black fighters that's near the top or competing to be on top or already reigning on top. We have two black fighters once again. One out of Long Island, New York, and the other one out of Philly. He goes in and defeat Custio Clay. It don't matter how he do it. He knocks him out. It's going to give them more to talk about. He goes the distance. It's going to give them less to talk about, but more on how they want to, gauge how they're going to talk about Spence and Ennis. Now, I like this. I like that they're about to come the topic of discussion because it doesn't seem like we have any type of direction on when the targeted location is on the calendar for Crawford Spence. So we just have to sit and wait. But in the meanwhile, let's switch over and we understand that now the topic being that Errol Spence doesn't have a fight, I want the same energy to be dedicated to Jaron Ennis and Errol Spence Jr., just like they've been up here trying to put Jaron Ennis off on Crawford and all this. You have no choice now. The man is about to compete in the IBF Eliminator. It's cut and dry. It's point blank. It's there. If you choose not to talk about this man, all you're doing is just validating what I know about this YouTube shit. Y'all pick and choose on them private chats on what topic y'all want to talk about and what fighters you want to start building up. Watch what I tell you. Watch what WCS is telling you, people. It's about to be a switch. And you know how they're going to word it? The passing of the torch. That's how they're going to word it. The passing of the torch. Jaron Ennis is up next. The passing of the torch. What about Virgil Ortiz? Virgil Ortiz ain't went nowhere. Virgil Ortiz ranked above Jaron Ennis. Why isn't he being talked about like that? Because he had to postpone his fight or something. I mean, he had more, in my opinion, reputable fights. That it seemed like he was tested, in my opinion. But Jaron Ennis is on the hunt. It's not going to be no denying this guy once he's finally here. You can't deny it. Jaron said at the press conference, a lot of them dudes have plans and they'll say certain things before they get in the ring. And then, they get presented what I have and then they change up their whole game plan. It wasn't in those exact words, but he was pretty much saying everybody has a plan until they start digesting these gloves I got. And that's with the mouthpiece in. You know what I'm saying? Jaron said, my punches taste different. That's what he said. My punches taste different. And you'll find out. If you had an appetite for boxing, you about to find out. But the good thing about it, they can't sit up here and add Terrence Crawford into the equation. I'm not going to add Terrence Crawford into the equation, but he's such a popular fighter that they can't. They have this form of I don't know. It's almost like attention deficit disorder. They just start acting out whenever they talk about Errol Spence, they start talking about Terrence Crawford, and then they start drooling on themselves. They trying their best not to mention Terrence Crawford's name, and then it pops out. Oh my God! Please don't punish me, please. I try to have a conversation about Errol Spence and Jaron Ennis. I just couldn't do it. I had to bring Terrence Crawford in here. I'm telling you, that's how they are, man. Showtime in the building. What's good with it, Showtime? Salute to you. Says salute WCS and the chat. Big dog on deck with it. Salute, big dog. But this is where we at with. It's about to be a change, y'all. And you know, when it comes to this YouTube shit, change is good. Change is good. And I know my thumbnail, right? It's pretty much supposed to be emphasizing the super welterweight. But this co-main event, in a lot of ways, man, it's career changing too. It's a turning point. This is a turning point. You know what I'm saying? Just like the super welterweight fight. It's a turning point. It's a turning point for the individual who wins the 154-pound titles, and also for Jaron Ennis. If indeed he wins, it's a turning point for him. And what do I mean by that? This is an IBF eliminator that was soon, supposedly on the schedule, on paper, he will potentially step in there with Errol Spence Jr., the current reigning defending unified welterweight champion. There's no Terrence Crawford in this, people. This is strictly 1-to-1 Jaron Ennis and Errol Spence Jr. Once again, the light is taken away from Terrence Crawford in this particular case, even though Spence and Crawford's still a bigger fight, a way bigger fight than Boots and Ennis and Spence. You have to pay attention that this is a direct point-to-point link. All the narratives is going to start hitting YouTube to basically find somehow to do the proper turnover, people. Okay, a turnover is like when you have a job and you've held a position for a certain point of time and you have somebody else that's coming in to take over that position. Now, you may be leaving that job, or you may have been promoted to another position. Either way, you're providing a turnover for the individuals that's coming to take your position. A turnover helps them see what you had going on, what they can look in that folder, and they can do what they want. This is potentially a turnover if these two fight. Or it can be prolonged, delayed, like we're seeing Spence and Crawford, because they're trying to figure out what they want to do. They're going to get with Errol Spence, and they're going to try to find out, okay, which route you want to take. We fucked up with the Canelo deal. Which route do we want to take? Well, you know, we can lowball the shit out of Jaron Ennis. We can lowball the shit out of him. You know, you have to make a committed decision at that point in time. I'm talking about Errol, on who he want to fight. Right now, it's so many desperate people that want Jaron Ennis to take over the welterweight division. They'll quickly act like Crawford's name should be put on the back burner, when it shouldn't. Crawford is a bigger name than Jaron Ennis. But when it comes to appeasing a fighter that they have been coddling and babysitting in Errol Spence since he came off the accident, they've been caressing and they've been rubbing his forehead and icing his feet, you know, putting cocoa butter on, you know, on his hands and shit, you know, massaging him on his shoulders, just really babysitting him. They're going to find the right way on how to get a proper turnover between him and Jaron Ennis. They don't want it to be violent. They don't want Jaron Ennis, with everything that they say he was, to go in there and show the people that they was absolutely right at the expense of Spence getting knocked out. They don't want that. They want something that's light, innocuous, and not so deleterious, because there's nowhere to run. Jaron Ennis is up fucking next for the IBF eliminator if he beats Custio Clayton. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. What's going to happen? If Spence don't fight freaking Crawford, if Spence don't fight freaking Jaron Ennis, what the fuck are we doing with all these damn IBF eliminators and all that? The one good thing I know, and that you aficionados that's in the chat understands, is that if it's any sanctioning body, when it comes to mandatories, that are very strict, and that's the IBF. God damn it, the IBF don't play around. The IBF doesn't play around. Seriously, we also know what trumps that, and it's funny how we're like in the same situation that Teofimo Lopez was with George Kambosos, but it was quite different. It was quite different, but somewhat same. He chose to fight George Kambosos. What is Errol Spence going to decide to do? Being that we have a lot of channels on here supporting Boots Ennis, they're finding any way possible to say, okay, how can I start withdrawing in small percentages my support for Errol Spence and start depositing that into the attention of Jaron Ennis, because really he's the younger generation right now. So I really want to start, depositing all my effort in Jaron Ennis. How can I do that without people identifying me as switching up? That's what they're gonna do. DBMH, what's good with it? But I'm not gonna go too much into it. I just know, they talk about the algorithm on here in YouTube. Yeah, I know a rhythm too. I know a rhythm that exists on this YouTube shit. I'm just curious to know how that shit how are they gonna start, landing that Errol Spence plane that they was on, and then start boarding the flight for Jaron Ennis, because he beats Custio Clay. He's in the building. He's in the building, and we shouldn't hear anything else about Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence like every week, knowing that Jaron Ennis is now on deck. Jaron Ennis is now on deck, people, and he's on deck in one of the most strictest sanctioning bodies there is when it comes to mandatories. They don't play. The IBF don't play. They'll strip you. Will Errol Spence get stripped of his IBF title, and therefore it sabotages and absolutely demolish the fight between him and Crawford? Or are we gonna somehow get an undisputed fight? Because the fucked up part about that whole thing is, when it comes to Crawford, obviously this is a bigger fight, but they talking about they don't have the funds. But then when it comes to Ennis, they'll have the funds for Ennis because he's not a PPV attraction, and they can give him what they want to give him. If it's $7.12 or $10.50, he get the rest on the back end. It doesn't matter. They can pay him. They can lowball him. So they say, okay, do we go with a cheaper route? Because we really ain't gonna, we really don't have to face Crawford. It's not mandatory that we face Crawford. We can go over there and be financially dependent and face Jaron Ennis. Less money. Let's see what the fans are talking about. They're gonna see after this fight how the fans are talking about, how they pushing Errol Spence to face Jaron Ennis, and we'll see. I'm not totally excluding the fact that Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence is going to happen, but I'm just telling you, watch what they start talking about with this Jaron Ennis. They've been waiting for this day to stab Spence in the back with a pitchfork. They're going to start coming up with some narrative. Well, if you look at the performance that Jaron Ennis had with Custio Clay, I think it was better than Errol Spence and Udinese Ugas. I'm just telling you, people, the way he was moving in there, oh my God. Boots is down. He is him. Watch. And they'll be the first one to start talking about that phonetic D. So when it comes to other people's support, they start talking about that D word. but it's a lot of people pushing for boots. What is that? What is that considered? You a fan of the sport? Y'all should just keep your eyes peeled for that shit. Ryan Garcia, his fight, his potential fight with Isaac Cruz is off. Look, y'all. His fight with Isaac Cruz is off. So let me briefly take you on a rendezvous, people, on what was said about Ryan Garcia fight being off with Isaac Cruz. What goes around comes back around. How you gonna handle it when it all goes down? What goes around comes back around. Check this article out, man. It is just hilarious, man, Ryan Garcia. It's just hilarious, dog. I was laughing, man. It was so funny to me. I remember when Ryan Garcia was, post fight, calling out Gervonta Davis. And then he was Devin Haney's mandatory. He didn't want to enact. He said, y'all can speak to my attorneys. Man, it was hilarious. And then he bails out of Gervonta Davis fight. And what did he do, people? He said he has this huge fight at catchweight with the one and only 8 division champion Manny Pacquiao. And we're all sitting here like, wow, okay. And I created Mr. Capion. Ooh, he's Capion, and Capion, Capion. And then comes Isaac Cruz, people. Comes Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz rocket ship has been it's been fueled, and he's been taken off to the stars after that fight with Gervonta Davis. Then he goes in there and fight a common opponent. And this is where I try to stay in line. I'm staying on topic, but I try to stay in line. Isaac Cruz stepped in there and fight a common opponent of Gervonta Davis, of Terrence Crawford. Most recently, Isaac Cruz went in there and destroyed your Jokic Gamboa. Destroyed him. Then the shit was thrown into the YouTube lagoon, and all the piranhas had a field day. And they were sitting up there trying to build Isaac Cruz up, say, oh man, this dude, we like his style and everything. Like he's just one way, he comes out in fourth gear and he stays there most of the fight. But I want to read a portion of this article about Ryan Garcia not getting this fight with Isaac Cruz. It was just hilarious, man. I say, oh, baby Ray Ray. Baby Ray Ray. Oh, they ain't showing you that. They don't love you like that, baby Ray Ray. Come on, baby Ray Ray. They don't love you like that, shawty. I'm trying to look for this article. Hold on for a second. This is just hilarious, man. Baby Ray Ray, man. Isaac Cruz snatched that passy out of his mouth. The fight is not happening. He thought for sure he was going to take the momentum that Isaac Cruz is built off Gervonta Davis and your Jokic Gamboa. He thought he was going to take that shit. Where you at? Let me see. Motor oil is better than ever. Hold on for a second, because these threads be moving pretty. Hold on for a second. Please be patient, people. Dun, 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 dun. It says Ryan Garcia disappointed, Esau Cruz fight not happening. All right. Ryan Garcia revealed on Friday that the WBC ordered lightweight title eliminator between him and Isak Pitbull Cruz is a no-go. Once again, a no-go due to hold on. It's a no-go due to his manager saying it's not a good time to make the fight. Once again, let me refresh that. Ryan Garcia revealed on Friday that the WBC ordered lightweight title eliminated between him and Isak Cruz is a no-go due to his manager saying it's not a good time to make the fight. Hilarious, bro. Real talk. It goes on to say Pitbull Cruz promoter Sean Gibbons says they already had plans to fight in August. Now this is where the boxing dynamic comes into play when we're talking about business. They have the possibility of a rematch with WBA regular lightweight champion Gervonta Davis, or fight with Rolando Romero if he comes out victorious in his next contender. Gibbons is still interested in matching a fight between Cruz and Garcia at some point in the near future, but not now. Once again, but not now. Once more, but not now. That's Sean Gibbons. It's understandable why Gibbons would prefer that Pitbull Cruz face Tank in a rematch rather than Ryan Garcia. Tank vs. Cruz will likely be shown on Showtime pay-per-view, and the money would be hard to resist. I totally agree with that. Also, if Pitbull beats Tank, there will be a trilogy match between them on PPV. Ryan isn't a PP fighter yet, and it remains to be seen if he will in the future. The twists and turns, huh? Intriguing. If anyone wanted the full interview, this is Isak Cruz manager Sean Gibbons making excuse after excuse on why he can't. No mention on how we can figure something out, said Ryan Garcia. I'm very frustrated. I'm trying to get this fight done, and I see this interview. There's a way. There's a way, and they simply don't want to do it. I tried to give you guys a fight that you wanted. It's not in my hands anymore, said Ryan. Oh, man. He tried to give us what we wanted finally, y'all. That's Ryan Garcia. He finally tried to give us what we want. Wow, man. I'm so appreciative.
Tank, I'm going to say it in front of Mike and Jeremy. If you do not take this fight, your legacy is forever tainted. Nobody will ever remember your name. Nobody. The money's there. I know you love money, but money's there. If you don't take the fight next, your whole legacy forever is tainted if you don't take the next fight with me.
Oh, my God.
God damn. God damn, Tang. I ain't never heard no shit like this.
Ooh, he's capping, capping, he's capping, cap.
Y'all get the picture. Oh, little Ryan, the silver screen kid who's having the opportunity to get commercials with Damian Lillard. And like I said, Ryan Garcia is going to be on the big screen soon, like I said, and that's what it is. But in order for them to continue to bolster Ryan Garcia's brand and his Wall Street as a brand, because Ryan Garcia is a brand right now. Okay, he's not just, boxers should always kind of take this route if you can. If you can bleed over into that Hollywood scene, it's always good. But Ryan has the aesthetics to bleed over in that, and that's what he's doing. I put that out there a long time ago. But back to the fight. It's hilarious there, Ryan, that you lied to us all. Ryan Garcia, you lied to us. And a lot of us haven't got that apology. You lied to us, bro. You sit up here and had us believing that you really wanted that tank smoke. When you fuck with tanks, shit is different. You get hit with a tank shell, you're never the same. But nah, that ain't it. Because they never even received anything from you. You didn't want to fight Devin Haney. Okay, I get it. You didn't want to freaking fight. You talking about you had someone packing. Okay, you get it, right? So all of a sudden he want to come back off others' momentum, and they ain't having that shit. Now Tank has been on record as saying that he wouldn't mind facing Ryan Garcia at first because of all the followers that he got, and then look, check this out, and then when it comes down to the fight that he had with Isaac Cruz, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, we'd like to see that fight again. We got to see that fight again, y'all. We got to see these guys fight again." Now, what you just heard in that article about Isaac Cruz coming back facing the winner of Rolly Davis, people will see that fight. Even if they seen that Isaac Cruz was one-dimensional, they felt like, okay, Gervonta wasn't able to knock him out. We need to see if the equalizer between these two is Isaac Cruz. A star was born. They gave Isaac Cruz that banner. A star was born tonight. So they figure a star was born. And then further to illuminate that star, he stops Yorkis Gamboa. The same Gamboa they give Crawford no credit for. I got it. But Ryan Garcia, you have to face the music, big dog. You screwed us over. You capped. You number one on the Duck Masters Coalition. Still, Emmanuel Tago did not remove you from the top pound for pound Duck Masters Coalition there, Ryan. The article said, look, they say it's not the end of the world for Ryan just because he's not getting a Pitbull Cruz fight. Ryan's promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, can always match him against a top contender in the WBC rankings. And then here are the names: Jojo Diaz, Javier Fortuna, Zaur Abdulayev, Richard Comey, Evan Mendy, and Jeremiah Nakatilia. Now, I like that last one. Because the loss Nakatilia had to Shakur Stevenson, it wasn't anything that was damaging. I would take Nakatilia out of all of them. Let's go, Ryan. You saw what he did to Miguel Burchelt, right? He stopped him. Make that fight with Jeremiah Nakatilia and gain back, some of your fans. That's what you need to do. Forget everybody else. Jojo Diaz, he lost the fight to Devin Haney. I don't think he's the one to really give us that energy we're looking for. But Jeremiah Nakatilia seems like he wants that smoke. He seems to believe that he's the man right now. You know what I'm saying? So if out of the 6 fighters that they mentioned, Jojo Diaz, Javier Fortuna, Zaire Abdulayev, Richard Comey, Evan Mendy, and Jeremiah Nakatilia, I'll take the last one, Nakatilia. Let's see you fight him. Okay? And Karma is a mother, ain't it? Karma is a mother there, Ryan. You lied to us all. You walked around here. You say you had mental problems. You're on the beach getting all nice and cozy and warm off some goddamn, some cheeky, some warm cheeks out there. Chilling with your girl, whoever. Say you're going through mental problems. People ain't forgot that. Oh, in between time, you fucked around and allowed Isak Cruz to come here and take your glory. So Isak Cruz gets the step in fight with Gervonta Davis and performs well. And then he has a turnaround and performs well and stop a common opponent of Gervonta Davis in quicker fashion. So what they saying over here, Boxing News 24, makes all the sense in the world. Sean Gibbons say potentially they may have a fight to get the winner of Rolly. It's going to be on PPV. So, hey, we have to wait to see how this fight plays out at the Barclays. And then if they do build up a Gervonta Davis and Isak Cruz, which Gervonta Davis was adamant in saying, no, he ain't getting no rematch. I think over time, with this being Gervonta's last fight, supposedly with Mayweather promotion, I think it's beneficial for him to revisit the Isak Cruz decision. I think it's a good move. Seriously, I think it's a smart move for him. But people, let me tell you, yeah, I'm in South Carolina supporting the amateur tournament, PD5. So, that's what I've been going through and dealing with. I drove up here. I'm in South Carolina supporting my guy, Larry Frazier. You know what I'm saying? They have 20 teams that's competing up here for the PD5. Some damn good amateurs on deck. It's gonna be kicking off today around 6:00. So that's what I've been doing, man. That's why, I probably saw a live that's going around on Facebook. I actually emceed the final presser yesterday. What a pleasure. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just trench work. That's at the end of the day, it's just participating and supporting not just the higher tier fighters, but going up here to these amateur cards and freaking supporting these diamonds in the rough. You know what I'm saying? These fighters that, as I get older, they continue to progress and move forward in their career. Then they turn professional and they pretty much know and remember the ones they seen down at the ground floor. That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't get immersed in the YouTube shit, because a lot of these cats can care less about amateurs. And there's some that really do. There's some that really show up to the amateurs and they support them. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Showtime to be over there, on the ground zero, supporting those amateurs over there. You know what I'm saying? You have to go to these amateur cars to support these cats. When they turn professional, they remember who you are. You know what I'm saying? And plus, it's educational to go ahead and see what these amateur fighters are doing. They have to start somewhere. They have to start somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Man, I had a crazy time last night, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. That shit was crazy. I was out there once again having a moment with a former world champ, with former world champions. But I was with former world champ Ray Mercer. Man, we went out in the country backwoods, firing weapons. I was with my guy Lee and some other USA coaches, man, boxing coaches. So after the presser, we went back there and had some country fun. And see, that's the shit, riding out there, the shit we was doing, man, talking about boxing. That's the shit you can't find on YouTube, bro. Like, everything you don't fire up the camera for. But you have those moments like this. You can say, damn, I get to hear the behind the scenes of a boxer. I get to hear the infamous on what took place behind the scenes with him and Tommy Morrison fight. I get to hear from the champ's mouth itself, everything that went on with that. You know what I'm saying? The game plan they had and how they was feeling in that fight and everything else. And then have somebody cross over from boxing to fight a 5-time UFC champion and Tim Silva and get the knockout, to have them explain what led up to him getting that fight. You know what I'm saying? How did it all play out? And then we had some guys that was back there in the Ali. I'm sitting at a table with a coach that was back there with Ali. He's showing me, we talking about certain points and certain things that happen with Ali, mouth to mouth education. Like his conversation. I'm cataloging all that shit. I'm collecting data. I was like, for real? What? You get to yourself, God, that seriously? Oh my, what? Okay. He's telling me all the community shit, the community work that Ali did, man. He actually got pictures. Like these ain't no damn pictures like selfies this day and selfies. These are pictures when they're actually the way it used to be back then, like the way these cats used to take pictures. Like working with the fighter. He was working with the fighter. It was good shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. It was good. It was good shit, man. God dang, all them black men out there in the wood shooting at motherfucking cans, in the dark with dots and shit, lasers and shit. Man, that shit was hilarious. Then going to a little restaurant, bar and getting some chow. And then of course, everybody that was in the group was service members. You know what I'm saying? That shit was cool. That shit was cool, man. That shit was hilarious, man. Ray Mercer is a hilarious dude, man. He's funny. I didn't know he had that much humor. That shit was funny as hell, dog. Man, I got to get back to the game plan, man. Stay tuned for the night. The amateur show is going to kick off, and I know what y'all going to be paying attention to. I know this. Okay? I'm not naive. I know y'all going to be paying attention and closely to that fight that's popping off. I will periodically if I can, but appreciate y'all pulling up as always. Thank you. One love to you. It's gonna be a busy afternoon. No cap. This shit gonna be busy as hell in this amateur tournament. The PD5 here in South Carolina. You know what it is, man. Turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports. Big shout out to Showtime, man. Make sure y'all go follow that cat, dog. Go follow my boy Showtime. Appreciate the thanks to the ones who pulled up as always. Turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports. I'm out.